Hey, welcome back. My name is Casey Harris, and this is the third lesson in my series on beginner acoustic guitar. So our last lesson, we talked about our major scale. This lesson, we're going to talk about what's called our minor scale. Our major scale and our minor scale are very similar. Our major scale has 7 notes in it. Our minor scale also has 7 notes in it. But what we're going to do is we're going to take those 7 notes that are in the major scale, and we're going to change a few notes to turn it into a minor scale. I'll show you what I mean. Let's start by playing let's play our A major scale. So to do that, we're going to start on the 5th fret of our E string, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, and we're going to play our major scale. So we remember from our last lesson that a major scale is this order of whole steps and half steps. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. In this case, those notes are A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. If I'm talking about the number of frets on the fretboard, that would be 5, 7, 9, 5, 7, 9, 6, 7. All right, that's our A major scale, which we already know. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna tweak that a little bit and turn it into a minor scale. The first thing that's gonna happen is we're gonna take that third note, do, re, mi, and we're gonna lower it by a half step. We're gonna turn it into what's called a minor third. Do, re, mi, do, re, mi, do, re, mi. So mi, do, re, mi turns into do, re, mi turns into a minor third. Now we're gonna keep going. Fa, sol, la, 5, 7, 9. That's gonna turn into fa, sol, la, fa, sol, la. We're gonna take what's called our major 6th, la, do, la, and we're gonna move that down a half step to our minor 6th, lay, do, lay, do, lay. So now this is what we have. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, lay. Okay. With me so far? Do, re, mi turns into do, re, mi. We've taken that major third, moved it down a half step. Fa, sol, la turns into fa, sol, lay. That 6th, that major 6th, has turned into a minor 6th. And then lastly, we have Ti, do. Ti, do, Ti, do, Ti, do. To turn that into a minor scale, Ti, which in this case is the 6th fret of our D string, is going to be moved down a half step to te. So now it's te, do, te, do, te, do. So to recap, major scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. 5, 7, 9, 5, 7, 9, 6, 7 turns into our minor scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7. So what we've done is we've taken our major scale and we've tweaked 3 notes. Mi has moved down to me, la has moved down to lay, and Ti has moved down to te. Now, when I say major third, or minor third, or major 6, minor 6, what do I mean by that? Up until this point, our building blocks that we've been working with have been our whole steps and our half steps. Remember, I call those also our minor seconds and our major seconds. Our half step, because that's our smallest interval that we have in music, everything can be broken down to half steps, right? Half steps or whole steps. We can take any larger interval, any bigger distance between 2 notes, and we can kind of add up half steps to get there, okay? Now, what we're gonna do for right now that we've learned our minor scale, and just like with our major scale, we can take that shape that we just played for our minor scale, and we can move it anywhere on the guitar. We could start down here at F. That's F minor. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. We could start up here at D. That's gonna be D minor, right? We could start here at G sharp if we wanted, or A flat. always going to be a minor scale. Again, because the way the guitar works, we learn that shape, which is in order of distances, and we can move it around. It's going to be different names for different notes or for different scales, but the type of scale is going to stay the same. This shape is always going to be a major scale wherever I play it. This shape is always going to be a minor scale wherever I play it. Getting back to what I was talking about with intervals, what we're going to do now is we're going to take our major scale. So we're going to shift back to our major scale now. And we're going to see all of the different intervals that we can get out of our major scale. So here is, we'll go back to G major, okay? We'll use G major for a while to keep it simple. So G is going to be the 3rd fret on our E string, E, F, F sharp, G. And what we're going to do is we're going to see the distances between all of the notes. So Do to Re, we already know that one. That's a whole step, right? Do, Re, Do, Re, Do, Re. That's made of 2 half steps. There's a half step to get another half step gets us to Re. Do, Re, Do, Re, Do, Re. The 3rd note, Mi, that is another whole step, right? That's a whole step plus a whole step. Do, Mi, Do, Mi, Do, Mi. That's what's called a major 3rd, okay? Anywhere I play the shape, it's gonna stay a major 3rd. Do, Mi, Do, Mi, Do, Mi. Do, Mi, Do, Mi, Do, Mi. Do, Mi, Do, Mi, Do, Mi. Another way to play a major 3rd, instead of making that big stretch, especially when we get down here on the guitar, one of the things you might have noticed, as we move up the guitar neck, our frets get closer and closer together. It makes it easier to play. When we go down our guitar neck this way, the frets are more spread out. There's a reason for that, and we can talk about that in another lesson. But right now, what that means is if we want to make this big stretch down here, especially if you don't have the biggest hands in the world, another way to play that major 3rd, Do, Mi, Do, Mi, Do, Mi, is like this. Same 2 notes, Do, Mi, Do, Mi, Do, Mi, Do, Mi, Do, Mi, Do, Mi, but on 2 adjacent strings. So going back to G, there's G, the 3rd fret of our E string. There is our major 3rd, right? A whole step plus another whole step. Do, Mi, Do, Mi, Do, Mi. If I want to play those same 2 notes, G and in this case B, G, B, G, B, G, B. Another way I could do that is I could play it like this. G, the 3rd fret of our E string, and B, the 2nd fret of our A string. Do, Mi, Do, Mi, Do, Mi. Same interval. Do, Mi, Do, Mi, Do, Mi, Do, Mi, Do, Mi, Do, Mi. Just played another way. So that's what's called a major 3rd. After that, remember, we go a half step up from there. Mi, Fa, Mi, Fa, Mi, Fa. So Fa, Do to Fa. Do, Fa, Do, Fa, Do, Fa. Didn't sing that great. Do, Fa, Do, Fa, Do, Fa. That's what's called a 4th. A 4th is a whole step plus a whole step plus a half step. Do, Fa, Do, Fa, Do, Fa. What that is a 4th is just whatever string I'm playing up to the next string on the same fret. So if I'm playing G, the 3rd fret on our E string, if I want to play the 4th of G, I just go to the 4th, or the 3rd fret, excuse me, of my A string. Do, Fa, Do, Fa, Do, Fa. Anywhere I do that. All right. So, whole step, major 3rd, 4th. Now, we're going to go up another whole step and get to our 5th. Do, Sol, Do, Sol, Do, Sol. So if you notice, a 5th, or a perfect 5th, looks actually just like a whole step, but up another string. So if I play G here, this is going to be my 5th. Do, Sol, Do, Sol, Do, Sol. In this case, G to D. G, D, G, D, G, A, B, C, D. After our 5th, we go up another whole step. Do, La, Do, La, Do, La. That turns into what's called our major 6th, okay? A major 6 looks just like a major 3rd, but up another string. So that's one way you can do it. Or, just like we played a major 3rd here, do, mi, do, mi, do, mi, we can do the same thing. We can take our finger that's on the 2nd fret of our A string and move it up to our D string. And now we've got G here and E here. We're skipping our A string in this case. So 3rd fret of our low E, which is G, E, F, F sharp, G, and then the 2nd fret of our D string, D, D sharp, E. That gives us a major 6. Do, la, do, la, do, la. So far, whole step, do, re, do, re, do, re, major 3rd, do, mi, do, mi, do, mi, perfect 4th, do, fa, do, fa, do, fa, a perfect 5th, do, sol, do, sol, do, sol, a major 6, do, la, do, la, do, la. And then we've got, if we go up here, there's T, right? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, T, do, T, do, T, do, T. That's what's called our major 7th. Do, T, do, T, do, T. Again, anywhere I move this, do, T, I can't sing that one. That's going to stay a major 7th. So you notice in this case we're skipping our A string, right? So G, 3rd fret of our E, and then there's T, F sharp, which is the 4th fret of our D string. Lastly, we got to get back to Do, so we go from T up to Do. In this scale, it's going to be the 5th fret of our D string. Do, 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 do. That's called an octave. That's G up to G again. So same note. When we've gone all up our 12 notes of music and gotten back to the same note, that is an octave. An octave looks just like a 5th, right? Or just like a whole step, 5th, octave. So to walk through those notes in the major scale, whole step, do, re, do, re, do, re. Major 3rd, do, mi, do, mi, do, mi. 4th, do, fa, do, fa, do, fa. 5th, do, sol, do, sol, do, sol. 6th, do, la, do, la, do, la. Major 6. Do, T, do, T, do, T. There's my major 7th. Back to our octave. Do, do. All right, so when we change those notes in our minor scale to go from a major scale to a minor scale, getting back to where we started, what's happening is our intervals are changing as well. So we went from whole step, major 3rd, 4th, 5th, major 6, major 7, octave. Now we change those 3 notes, mi, move down to me, la, move down to lay, and ti, move down to te. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That was our major scale. Here's our minor scale now. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. When I play that, our intervals in that minor scale are different now too. We still have a whole step, do to re, do, re, do, re, do, re. But now mi, do, mi, do, mi, do, mi, has turned into me, do, re, do, re, do, re. Fa, do, fa, do, fa, do, fa. That stayed the same. Sol stayed the same. Do, sol, do, sol, do, sol. La, do, la, has moved down to lay, do, lay. That's what's called a minor 6th. And T, do, T, that major 7, has moved down to te, do, te. That looks just like a 4th, but played up a string. So 3rd fret of my low E, 3rd fret of my D, right? We're skipping the A string. Do, re, do, re, do, re. Whole step. Do, me, do, me, do, me. Minor 3rd. Do, fa, do, fa, do, fa. 4th. Do, sol, do, sol, do, sol. 5th. Do, lay, do, lay, do, lay. Minor 6. Do, te, do, te, do, te. Minor 7. Back to do. Do, do. So right there. And that's kind of a crash course on, first of all, how we build our minor scale, going from the 7 notes that make up a major scale, shifting 3 of them to turn them into a minor scale. And then we looked at the the different intervals, the different distances that we can get out of both a major scale and a minor scale, and how shifting those 3 notes around changes what those intervals are. So stick around for our next lesson, and I hope I see you then.